Hello there, young lady.
Hey, how are
Nice to
you?
see you back in town. Wow, you've been in Hawaii and anywhere else exciting?
No, just Hawaii.
How was it? You didn't want to come back,
I
did you?
did not. I actually had to come back early, but it was good. I had a really good 5 days. I plan on going back. It was like my first time. So I was like,
That was your first time?
that was my first time. Yeah, I
Oh,
know. I've been working and working and working. So like for the past couple of years, I've had some trips had set up and then COVID happened. And
oh.
so it's
One
just
thing
a
about
lot.
COVID, because when COVID happened, we are supposed to go to Paris that year
Yeah,
and we couldn't.
I know.
So,
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Bali for the summer. And then they were like, "Oh, well, you have to get the shot and all that other stuff." And I was like, "No, I'm okay. I'll wait."
it's funny about COVID. Right now, everybody thinks it's over with, and it really isn't.
Right.
It's still going on. There are still people dying from it. You can still catch it. But since there's a shot out there now that everybody's taking the boost shot and all that, we still have a few folks who are not taking the shots at all.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
So, but other than that, I mean, I think it done this course. It's just like getting the flu shot every year now. That's what they're
Hmm.
saying it's gonna be like.
Yeah, it's gonna be annual thing. And
Yeah.
I don't think I've taken the flu shot since I got out of the military. And I haven't had the flu since.
Oh, you had enough shots when you're in the military anyway.
Right.
They
That's why I
they
was like,
they,
I'm
line
immune to
they
almost
lined you up
everything.
and shot you up, didn't they?
I was like, if I donate blood, they'd be paying top dollar.
Yeah. All right. I want I was thinking about a subject. I know you came up with one, but I came up with something I need to find out about.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that's about with summertime here now,
Hmm.
our eating habits and taste buds has changed. And some of it's not to the good.
Right.
So with summertime, I see more people run around and get fast food, get something to eat real quick for to get home and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I was thinking, I said, if you deal with chef to table, you can have your food at the house, then drive home, pop it in the microwave,
Hmm.
and you can eat it right then and there. That takes you from getting in line, spending, let's say, $15,
Hmm.
and you just go home, heat it up, and
Hmm.
have a good, nutritious meal. How does that sound?
Obviously from my business perspective, I think that sounds great, but it's interesting that you mentioned that because I just took on a new client and he's a truck driver.
Mm.
So I meal prep his meals before he goes out on the road, and he has a refrigerator on his truck. So he'll just store the meals there, and then he'll stop somewhere and microwave it or whatever. So it's also convenient for on the road as well, because Veronica, I would meal prep for her, and when she would catch flights and go out of town, she would take her meals with her. So
Okay.
they're convenient that way as well. And I would just think that more people would be a little bit more health conscious during the summertime because it's hot, they want that beach body, they want to look good, while they're out there
Yeah.
enjoying themselves. Um, so you can still eat really well and still be healthy at the same time. And then but you're right though. I see the fast food drive-throughs, they're full. Everywhere
Yes.
is full now. McDonald's and Chick-fil-A is crazy. Everywhere that you can get something very fast and convenient is just skyrocketed.
I'm looking at the meal prep, and I think what scare people to death is the price in the beginning because you're buying everything for a week, right?
Hmm.
But if you break it down and you look at going to fast food and the meal prep, even though fast food, you pay for it right there. You do pay for it in advance there. But if you look at it, you're saving money in that week if you look at it that way.
Right. Because for me, I equivalent time with money. So I think about the time that I have to go to pick up the food, sit in that drive-through in the heat, run my gas to do the AC, pay about, because I think like McDonald's, averages about like maybe $9, $10 a meal or something like that. But you're getting processed foods, and it's not just McDonald's, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You're getting processed foods, the things have been sitting there, you know what I'm saying? There's no health value. Even if you go to a healthy spot, like, I don't know, maybe a salad or something like that, or even if you went to Panera Bread and got you like maybe half a sandwich and a salad and a drink, you're still going to be paying anywhere about $12.
Mhm.
you know, and then they give you like this portion or whatever, but you still have to go and sit there and, you know, spend your time.
Right.
So it all depends on what your convenience is, you know, what you're willing to pay for. And for me, I'd rather pay for convenience and healthy food than to be inconvenienced and not get any type of benefit, you know, because what you put in your body, you get out of it. So if you
Right.
put in junk, you're going to get junk.
True that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's value in the long run because, yeah, you're paying for unhealthy food now, but then think about diabetes, high blood pressure, you know, cancer and all that other stuff later on down the line. And it's like the medical bills and the pharmaceutical drugs, that's going to cost you too.
That's
So it's all
true.
about what you rather pay for.
Which I'm gonna bring up this point right here: lettuce.
Lettuce.
Now, from what I gather, the regular lettuce everybody buy has no nutritious value to it.
It does not.
So we eat the I can't think of the name of it right now.
Iceberg.
No,
romaine.
iceberg romaine.
Uh-huh.
We eat romaine lettuce, make a Caesar salad, and we make it with that. Grill some chicken, cut it up, put it on it, and that's what we do. And I mean, I like it,
Yeah.
you know, but you
I
know,
love lettuce.
but it's the other stuff. Now we're gonna get on this subject right here, which I totally disagree with the
Okay.
chef on this.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, Brussels sprouts.
Why you don't like Brussels sprouts?
I don't. I grew up as a kid eating it, that and liver, and I told myself, whenever I grew up by my own food, I am not buying that. Those two items.
Okay, so did I make you my Brussels sprouts the last time when you picked up
No.
that salmon meal? What was in that salmon meal?
You did the cauliflower because I said
Oh yes, it was the
cauliflower. I tried cauliflower.
yeah, and remember you said you didn't really like cauliflower
It
either.
was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Right. So it all depends on how it's prepared. When I was growing up, my grandma used to make this Brussels sprouts, and they would just be OD green and mushy, and they were just stinky, and they would just have like salt and pepper to them.
Yeah.
I don't make mine like that.
You see how I went, yeah.
Yes, nasty. And like but what I do is I cut my Brussels sprouts in half and then I blanch them, you know, in some hot water until they get soft, so maybe about 3 minutes. And then I'll drain them and then I'll toss them in some really good olive oil with some salt and pepper. And then I'll roast them in the oven, you know, until they're nice and crispy. If I want to do it that way, like that's quick and easy for me, or I'll put them in the air fryer. Another way how I do it is I'll cook off some bacon and some red onions, and then I'll put the Brussels sprouts in there and I'll saute it with some garlic and some seasonings and stuff like that, and then it'll caramelize. And then maybe I'll drizzle like some maple syrup over it to get like that sweet, salty element. So it all depends on how you cook it. But if you don't care for Brussels sprouts, you're not going to care about how you prepare it because you're just like, I guess I'll just have to eat these Brussels sprouts.
Yes, pretty much back in the days, that's what I did. I guess I got it because you got to eat those things. I would hold my nose and eat it.
But they're so good for you. Like, I wish more people ate more vegetables. Like, everybody thinks that, you know, vegetables are bad. But like I was telling you, the last time I found the most beneficial and flavorful way to make vegetables more appealing is by roasting it. And roasting it, like, you keep the nutrients inside of the vegetable and you get a really nice texture and a crunch and a different flavor. So that's how I eat my vegetables.
Well, I tell you what, I love my broccoli. I can eat broccoli every day.
Yes.
And I take mine. I went to some restaurant about 5 or 6 years ago, and they brought the broccoli out, and I ate it. My eyes just opened up. It was on the grill.
Oh, yes.
It had that taste, and and that's what I do now.
Yes.
I can put it on the grill by itself and sit outside, eat it all by myself.
Right.
You know, it's something about now. I like greens, so I love my veggies. Every once in a while, I like carrots, but I don't like it cut so thick. I like it thin,
like
thin
the matchstick kind
yeah,
of.
I like it like that. I have nothing against it, but that's my preference.
Yeah.
But I'll eat my vegetables now. She turned me on a cauliflower, y'all.
Right?
So I eat cauliflower.
Did it change your perspective on cauliflower?
It did. Now, one thing I want to taste now is a cauliflower mashed potatoes.
Yes.
I never had that before.
I did that for a couple of my clients, and they were like surprised that it was cauliflower.
Yeah.
And they were like, "This is cauliflower?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is." They're like, "It's just like mashed potatoes. I prepare it just like I do my mashed potatoes, and it's so much better. Less carbs, more flavor, more nutrients. You know, just all around a better option." Now, I'll still eat my mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
But I like mashed cauliflower a little bit better. And
Yeah.
it's a lot more convenient too. And
Well, my taste buds are tuning up for things I got to start eating. I got to leave the cravings alone on some things that I want. But I remember the doctor told me, I didn't say you couldn't eat it. I
yes,
just say you need to cut back on what you're
right.
eating.
Everything's about portion
Every
control.
once in a while, you could do that.
Yeah.
And at one time, I was having a cheat day every week. Now it's like once a month now.
Uh-huh.
Just a cheat day.
Right.
And then when we go out of town, I always tell my wife, let's not go to restaurants that's in San Antonio. Go to mom and pop place, look
Right.
at it,
Mm-hmm.
and see, because mom and pop place, they season their food.
They do.
And at other places, they make it bland. You add salt and pepper. Well, that's no seasoning.
Because
that's
it's
just that.
commercialized and it's for the
Right.
masses, and I've worked in a lot of different restaurants that were corporate dining, small restaurants, family-owned restaurants, fine dining. And I do realize that the smaller the restaurant is and the smaller the franchise and everything like that, they are more controlled with their flavor and they have more care in it, and they're able to, control the quality and stuff. Once you get into the corporations and they franchise out, you lose the quality control and you lose the taste factor, and it just doesn't taste the same. So that's why I started just doing a lot of stuff myself. Like I'm growing my own vegetables.
Yeah, you was telling me
inside
that.
my house now.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm so glad he brought up lettuce because I love greens, salad, okra, peppers, tomatoes, and everything. And I would go to the store and I would like buy the spring mix lettuce or the romaine lettuce or something like that. And then I would wash it and then I'd store it in the fridge. And then within like maybe 5 days, it would go bad. So now I just have like this container of wasted food, especially that spring mix. It doesn't last more than 3 days or whatever.
Exactly.
So then I was pretty much just throwing money in the garbage. So then I was like, my friend, she had introduced me to like her hydroponic growing system. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she made a salad and she had these tomatoes that came off of it. And Ron, I'm telling you, like these tomatoes that she gave me didn't taste like any of the tomatoes that I had in the store. So then I was like a little hesitant because I was trying to do my outdoor gardening. And then when I came back from Hawaii, everything was pretty much dead.
Yeah.
The heat killed everything.
Exactly.
And I spent so much money and so much time planting and trying to nurture my plants that never produced anything. So now I have this indoor hydroponic growing system, and my seeds that I germinated, I'm going to be putting it into my system this Sunday for my seed exchange, which I've been posting about. And I'm just so excited because people who have this system, they have their romaine lettuce that they've taken off or their butter lettuce that they've taken off, and they wash it and they put it in a Ziploc bag in their fridge, and they come back a week later and it's still fresh.
All those chemicals not in there.
Right. All the chemicals that they're putting in the food now. And then with the Bill Gates Foundation and what they're doing with the agriculture, and all this stuff and the direction in which the food industry is going, it's just not something that I would want to feed myself or my family,
I know this year, I haven't done it in a few years, but I will make my own pickle de gallo. I grow my own cilantro. I grow all that. So one year I grew pinto beans.
I remember you telling me.
And I grew them and I let them mature and everything, and they weren't dried or anything. I shuck it, whatever you call it. And I did all that.
Pick the beans.
And picked the beans, and I got a bowl about this big of beans. So I went on, didn't have to cook it as long, 2 hours that you do with the regular dried beans. This right here, I just put a cilantro in it, cut up some onions in it, and just brought it to the boil and let it just simmer right there. I'm telling you. If you want to eat some good pinto beans fresh, that's the best way to go.
Yeah, so now I'm going to try to see if I can grow that in my system because I'm growing collard greens and tomatoes and okra,
You said greens.
Greens. Oh my God.
That is my soft spot with some hot water cornbread.
Yes. Oh, what you know about hot water cornbread?
All I need is that hot water cornbread and some hot sauce. Just leave me alone for about 15 minutes.
Exactly. And a sweet tea, a glass of sweet tea.
No, unsweet for me.
Oh, yeah, unsweet for you.
Yeah, but that is good. What do you mean what I know about? hot water cornbread.
I mean, not many people know about hot water cornbread.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My aunt, she used to make that. She used to roast a chicken in the oven. And then she would make like some lima beans on the side with some fried cabbage. And then she'd come with like a nice piece of hot water cornbread.
Yes.
And I promise you that with the lima bean juice, or it was just so good.
People, we're in the South. You can't describe hot water cornbread.
Right.
Put it this way, it's so easy to make.
It is.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out, you know. But that's a staple when we were growing up. Every Sunday it was hot water cornbread with something, either meatloaf, ham, something. It was hot
fried
water
fish
cornbread
or something.
Yeah. Oh, there you go now.
Get some fried fish, go with some hot water cornbread. I remember, I think like during the cold season, she would make a big old pot of chili. And she would make some hot water cornbread with it. And I would just put the hot water cornbread in the middle and just let it soak up all those juices. And I would just eat around it.
So let me ask you something about chili. With or without beans?
My chili has beans.
Mine does too.
And I know some people are like, real chili doesn't have beans in it.
When I first moved to Texas, I ordered a bowl of chili and I asked the lady, where are the beans?
Yeah.
You must not be from. I said, no.
Yeah.
No. I said, well, can I get a side of your beans? And I put it in, mix it up, and I had my chili and beans. Right. But people in the South, I would say mainly Texas, they do not believe in that. Just the meat by itself. Also with barbecue, you cannot put barbecue sauce on your meat while you're smoking it.
Exactly.
They said, no, don't do that. You can add it later. We'll give you some later, put it. But that's a slap in the face to the pit master.
It is, because the meat should speak for itself.
Exactly.
And like I was telling you, we were at my dad's house on the 4th of July and he smoked this really nice brisket. And he had, it's like, oh, there's sauce too if you guys want the sauce. We didn't even need the sauce. Like when I have my dad's barbecue, there's no need for sauce. If you have to put sauce on your barbecue, that means you have trash barbecue. Because the meat should speak for itself. It should have its own flavor and tenderness, and it should stand on its own.
Yeah.
And I hate barbecue when you pick it up and you go to bite the rib and it just falls off the bone. Like, to me, that's overcooked. Like, it has to have some type of pull.
I said the same. I feel you the same way.
Right. Because
I know I did ribs for the 4th of July for everybody and sausage, and a couple was just fell off the bone, and I was upset. She said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm upset." Why? She said, "It's tender." I said, "I know, but I'm upset." It's supposed to have a little tug to it.
Yes.
So I let the other ones rest, cut them up. They were fine, and that's the key about when you do barbecue. You have to let it rest for a little bit.
You do.
And people rest. What do you mean? Is it tired? No.
You gotta let all that juices settle back into the meat.
Yeah. Right. Then you go ahead and cut. If you cut brisket too soon,
it's gonna dry out.
You let it rest a little bit, then you cut it as you go along. Wrap it up. Then if you want some more, go cut some more.
Right. That's exactly what we did. He wrapped it in butcher paper and everything, and he had it in the food warmer. I think he let it rest for about, like, on hold for maybe about 5 hours. So even after we got there, it was still perfect. It was, and then I made my mac and cheese and baked beans and everything like that.
So you made mac and cheese too, huh?
I did make mac and cheese. Yes, I posted the video on my Facebook.
Yeah,
did you see it? Oh my God!
I was gonna take a picture of. I don't know why I did not do that every year. I was gonna take a picture or video of me putting the food on. I marinate my ribs and all that stuff, and I didn't do that this time around. I just went there and just put it on there and went down.
I know, because usually when I post my content, it's usually just like the after, the after pictures and stuff. And I was like, man, I haven't posted like a tutorial in a long time and everything. And it was just so busy. I had so much meal prep to do on Monday and everything like that. So I was just like, and then I thought about it and I was like, oh, I said, we're having a barbecue tomorrow. I said, well, let me go ahead and do the mac and cheese and the baked beans, because I don't want to get it up in the morning I want to sleep in. I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah, you was on vacation. Did a lot of people miss you?
So what I did before I went on vacation, I told all of my clients, I said, hey, your last day to put in orders is this day, because right before, like 2 days before I left, we were here at the Henry B. Gonzalez doing the wedding fair. Right. So they had to put their orders in a couple of days before I had that event, because I was prepping for that event, I think like for 3 days
Mhm.
before we did that. So it was literally just a whole week of meal prep and then prepping for the wedding fair
Yeah.
and then the wedding fair and then packing and then vacation. So it was just like, but when I got back, it was like, hey, you're back now? Okay, let me get this,
Yeah,
this. So it's literally been meetings and menus and meetings and
and
meal prep.
there you go.
So, but I'm so grateful and thankful. This business has like really taken off the last 2 years. And
Yeah, speaking about that, y'all don't know if let me see if I remember right. You came from Mississippi during the pandemic.
no, I
Was
moved
it
from
Mississippi?
Alabama.
Alabama
Yes,
during the
I
pandemic.
did.
And you set up shop here
I
during the
did.
pandemic. Now, a lot of people wouldn't have done that. If anybody see my previous ones around the pandemic, I said point blank, this is a time for you to start your own food business.
Yes.
I said that. Everybody looked at me, are you crazy? I said, no, I'm not, because you had corporations going out of business because of
Right.
the pandemic. Mom and pops shops, food prep, and it took over. Because I remember somebody said, you must have lost your mind. I said, well, think about it. You used to go out ordering food. Now it comes to you. So what's a better way to do that? Get over somebody doing meal prep, bring you the food.
Right.
And you really stepped out on faith on that one.
I did. I
You
did. It was really good. It was a really good opportunity. I mean, 2020 for a lot of people, I mean, obviously it sucked, but it was like the best blessing for me because, I bought the house when the housing market was probably at its lowest,
Yeah.
in the longest time. So I pretty much stole it, which was great, Um, and then I looked at the market and everything was like barbecue or Mexican food or tacos and stuff like that. And
Exactly.
the availability of convenient, healthy food options was so scarce. And that's pretty much my business model anyways, because that's my lifestyle. I eat healthy. I'm all about health and wellness. I promote it, I live it. So I was like, okay, what is the way for me to be able to contribute to my community and to the food industry and still have a successful business model? So then I started off with meal prep and everything like that. And I just dove into the business and I was just like, let me start with the meal prep. And I started the website and everything. And then within a week of having the website up, I had people calling me.
See?
And they were like, hey, do you do meal prep and stuff like that? And I fine-tuned it over the years, but it's been wonderful, because there's so many people who want to eat healthy, but they either don't know how, they don't know what to eat, they don't have the time, they don't know how to cook, they don't know, like they have macros, they want to lose weight, but they don't know what they're supposed to eat. They don't know how, the portion size, the amount. And that's when I just come in and I'm just like, hey, what are your macros? Because I have a bunch of clients now who are just sending me their macros. Hey, I'm trying to lose weight. I have some patients who have different health issues and they go to their doctor and they're like, my doctor says I should eat this and this and this and this and have this many grams of this. They're like, can you come up with a meal plan? And I do, and I come up with a meal plan. I take their macros and what they're supposed to eat for the day, and then I create a meal plan for them, and then I just deliver it. And then I've had people who just like, God, I feel so much better now. It's so much more convenient. I don't have to rush to get dinner on the table for my family by 6 after I get out of traffic, because I deliver the family plans too. And it's just been easier. And for me, I just like helping people.
Yeah.
I like helping people and I like teaching people and I like being able to provide a service that's beneficial to everyone in the long run. So it's not just about the meal prep, like I'm trying to teach people about the hydroponic system too, so that people can have access to healthy food in their own home.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people like me. I'm not really, I don't have a green thumb when it comes to outdoors. And in this Texas heat, it don't make it no better.
Well, I hear you on that one. I gotta go get my phone. I left it up there because I know I'll see if anybody texting anything. Can you somewhat go over? I know it's a broad question. The pricing for a week of food average cost.
Right. Okay.
Let me go get my phone. Go ahead.
So I have 3 different meal plans. You have the gold plan, We have the silver plan, the gold plan, and the platinum plan. So it starts off with the 10 meals for 175, and then I think it goes to 250 for the 15 meals, and then 300 for the 20 meals. And with the 10 meals, you get 2 different menu options. For the 15 meals, you get 3 different menu options, and then for the 20 meals, you get 4. So you get 5 of each, and then you're able to customize it the way you want. I also have the different menu options that are on my website at www.cheftotablellc.com. And from there, if you click on the meal prep link, and then you go down to the shop after you look at all the different menu packages, and then you'll see all of the available menu items that I already have on there. So you can pick and choose from there. And then if you see a menu package that you want, but maybe you want to customize a little bit more, you just let me know. You can contact me at 210-570-7155, and you can speak with me directly, and I could be able to walk you through the packages as well as the meal plans and the prep.
Okay, excuse me, walking through you again.
Okay.
I forget to bring my phone with me. There's usually some questions that come up on here.
Okay, so that's when the people are like, hey.
Yeah, that's how I was checking, and I got to redo it. But so the price is if you add it up for a week.
Oh, and it includes free delivery as well.
Oh,
yeah.
So is it 6 days or 7 days?
It depends on how much you eat it. You know, because if you order 20 meals, you know, usually it's kind of like how many meals are you going to eat for the day? You know, I can go up to 21 meals, you know, and all the other stuff. Because some of my clients, they do 21 because they'll eat 3 a day, and that's 7 days.
You could choose anyone.
Yeah, you can pick and choose.
If I came to you right now, I gave you all my stuff what I needed, you will come back and say, well, I think you ought to have this right here.
Right.
I'm able to choose 3 different types. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Gotta love live radio.
You do, you do.
So I could pick how many can I pick?
As many. You could choose 10, 15, or 20 meals. If you want 21 meals, I can do that too.
Okay, if you pick and choose, but for each meal, it's different for each one.
Yeah.
So how many of those can I pick out?
So like for the 10 meals, you get 2 different menus, you know, because 5 of each. So you can choose 1 or 2 menus. For the 15, you get 3. And then for the 20, you get 4.
Okay.
So a lot of people get the 20 meals because it lasts longer for them. And then they get to try 4 different things. So it's like 5 of each one. So I have this one client right now, and he orders, I think, 21 meals, but he only wants the 3 different menu options because he's like, well, I just want breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know, to be consistent for the 7 days. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine, you know, but you can also customize it. Now, if you want to add extra meals or something like that, if you're like, well, I want 20 meals, but I want 5, we can do that too. It's just going to be a little upcharge.
Okay. So you do breakfast?
I do.
So let's talk about breakfast. What's in your breakfast?
So in my breakfast, I have different things. So I have, you could do like a bacon, egg, cheese, and vegetable quiche. Or, you know, a quiche is like the one with the crust on it. And you could do the frittata, which is like the egg casserole without the crust. I do these veggie egg bites, like these bacon, cheese, and veggie egg bites, which are like the little egg bites that you get from Starbucks, but real food and tastier.
Hey, real food.
Real food and tastier.
I like that. Real food.
Real food and tastier. I do have like this honey almond quinoa cereal that I serve with fresh granola and berries with a little bit of honey on it. So that's another one. I could also do like boiled eggs, because Veronica, I think she gets the boiled eggs with the grapefruit, and she likes that too. So I could also do like scrambled eggs or fried eggs or boiled eggs or whatever like that. I would prefer like more like boiled eggs or something more like a quiche, because scrambled eggs or fried eggs reheated is just, I just don't, I wouldn't even eat it.
I agree with you on that one.
I wouldn't eat it. I was like, so it's better just to get the quiche, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like an egg casserole and you get everything tasty, and you know, it all stays fresh for a long time. And then the good thing about my packaging is that you could freeze it. So so I have some clients who they'll order the food, but then they get sidetracked and then they'll go out to eat or whatever like that. And I'm like, if you're not going to be consistently eating the food, then don't waste the food, just put it in the freezer and then take it out when you need it. Like if you know you're going to go out of town, or if you know you're not going to eat it tomorrow, then just put it in the freezer and then take it out as you need it so it can thaw. Then you pop it in the microwave for like 2 minutes.
Okay. Let's see. What was that question? Okay. How can I put this? Let's say there's a client, take vitamins and stuff, but always have leg cramps in the middle of the night. Would that be like a diet they could be on, or?
I don't know. I would have to be like, is it sciatica? Do you have like, any type of nerve damage, muscle pains? Are you stretching? Are they working out? Are you drinking enough water? Do you have potassium? Because your sodium potassium pump also plays a part into your muscles and how they work and everything like that, as well as your activity and your performance. So I would have to ask a little bit more questions, but for the most part, any type of muscle or joint pain that you have is going to be a lot about your diet. If you're drinking enough water, because your water is going to lubricate your joints and get everything moving and flowing. If you're overweight, it's going to be a lot of extra work that your muscles and your joints have to do in order to support that weight.
Right.
So, for a lot of people who are overweight, like when I was overweight, I would have back pain, my knees would be hurting, my ankles would hurt. And I was just like, man, what's wrong with me? I'm falling apart. And the truth was I was just fat, so I had to lose a lot of weight. And then once I started losing all that weight, I move around more, I'm stealthier, I'm a lot healthier and I'm more active, and I'm just not in as much pain anymore. So it just really would have to depend, but it really does start with your diet. It starts with your diet. And I tell everybody, like, all the time, I'm like, they're like, oh, I have a headache or I don't feel well. How much water did you drink today? Because a lot of people, they'll think that if they drink like 1 or 2 of those little water bottles over there, that's fine. I drink a gallon of water a day. I have like a big water jug in every room in my house. So no matter what room I'm in, if I'm sitting down working in my office, if I'm upstairs doing reading, if I'm in my room or the living room, I have a big water jug in every room. So I always have water available. Because I don't drink alcohol or anything like that. So I just drink water, or like if I'm feeling really naughty, I'll have a Pepsi.
Naughty. Yeah. Like you try to offer me a soda that time. I can't drink that.
I know, and I just forget
because with me, I tell you, I'll open up a bottle of water. I'm in the office, I'm drinking water, and then I'll go in the kitchen and get something, but I just go in there and grab another water. I'm not finished that one that's in the office.
Oh, are you one of those people?
And then I drink it, and then I turn around, and at the end of the day, I may have 3 bottles that's not completely done.
You better consolidate those.
And what I do, I got a little refrigerator in the office.
Yes.
I put them right in the refrigerator. So I want some water, I pull out, I start drinking the ones I didn't finish.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm one of those, but but
I'm not going to judge, Ron.
But I drink it. I don't waste it.
Okay, good. My dad, he buys like those bottles of water and stuff, and he'll be the same way. Like he'll put a bottle here or a bottle there and leave them, and he'll be like, what? And with my brothers too, so they don't know what bottle is what. And I said, well, why don't you take that water and give it to the plants?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like take those bottles of water and just give them to your plants. That way you're still, repurposing it, like it's still having a purpose. But I did this paper when I was in college about the negative effects of plastic bottles on the environment. And so I think that was like back in 2010. And since then, I haven't bought any bottled waters since then.
Oh, I'm guilty.
I don't buy any plastic bottled waters. I reuse all my plastic. I try to do paper when I can. I make my own compost. Like I'm really, an environmentalist.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So don't get on my case.
Like Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror.
The woman in the mirror.
The woman in the mirror.
The woman in the mirror. Let's see. We got anybody that gotta love these ingredients right here, right now. It's right at our fingertip.
For the recipes and stuff.
I mean, right now, I'm looking at it right here. You said the ingredient. See, it's even. I gotta set a word when we're talking. It says a word. So, if you, not to go a little sidebar, have you sat down one time and you was writing something, you couldn't figure out how to spell this word, and it was right, but it's wrong.
Right. Yep.
Pick up
There's
this phone, say it, it spells it out for
Yep.
you.
I'll be like, Alexa, how do you spell? she'll tell me, and I'm like, I thought that was right. Because sometimes I'll just be so wrapped up, and I'm like, I know I'm not dumb.
See, I'm gonna program Alexa to say this. Okay, how you spell it? Didn't I give you that answer last week? Can't you remember anything?
Right.
You know, when Alexa came out, it was this typing program when I first learned how to type. And it was you type, it'll tell you how many words you're doing a minute. It talk back to you.
Right.
Well, this lady decided to get sassy with me.
Oh no.
You supposed to type this, not that. I said, who programmed you? I cut her off.
I unplugged the machine.
I cut her off and put her to the side. I said, that's it. With you, I could put you away.
Right.
But live, I just got to turn my head the other direction.
Right. I was like, I'm not gonna have no audacious person try to tell me how to
And, you know, it's funny.
Don't disrespect me in my own house.
At the house, we have what is it? The Google. And I would say, hey Google, so and so, so and so, and a woman's voice would come on.
Right.
And my wife said, a woman's voice. She say something, and a man's voice come on. She said, how is that possible? If she's watching right now, she don't know what I did.
They're learning machines.
I changed it to when a female talk, you get a male's voice. When a male talk, you get a female voice. Yep. But now she knows if she's watching.
My sister growing up, it was funny because she's been married to my brother for years, and she said we were driving. I was back home in California visiting one day, and we were driving and stuff like that, and I had asked Google for some information or whatever, and a man's voice popped up, and she's like, I wouldn't have no man on my phone tell me what to do. She said, your brother tells me enough all the time. She said, I have a woman respond to me. I thought that was the funniest
thing. Just like that shirt was going around for a while. I don't need Google. I got a wife.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm going to get this shirt made. And you know the honeydew list?
Oh my gosh.
Do this, and all that. Mine's going to be different.
So let me ask you a question. As a man, how do you feel about the honeydew list? I mean, I know your wife is watching and stuff like that, but do you think that's beneficial for you to remember all the things that you're supposed to do around the house? Or does it make you feel like a chore list?
I don't pay no attention. And she knows that. You know, I know what I need to do. It's just sometimes the honeydew list come out, they expect you to follow that list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not do whenever I get ready.
It's like a task sheet.
If I'm on number 5, I'll go number 5, which comes up to my point right here. The shirt I'm gonna make. It's gonna say, "Honey, I don't do windows. I don't cut lawn. I don't cook." I'm gonna get that shirt out there. But as of the honeydew list, why is it all the time the honeydew list is always for the man? The women create the list
for the man. But I wonder how the women would feel if a man created the honeydew list.
Oh, they go ballistic.
They would go crazy.
That's exactly what
they'd be like, I do all this. I cook and I clean and I do
the
house. I take care of the children.
You got to hear all that.
How dare you ask me for a honeydew list? And I am the honeydew and stuff. And it's just such a double standard. And I talk to my friends about it all the time. I talk to my dad about it. I talk to my boyfriend about it. And it's just so crazy how the standards and the expectations that the women have on the men, they can't even be reciprocated, because then it's like they're appalled. It's like they're offended. They're offended that you even asked me to do the same thing I would ask you, you know? Because I would never ask my partner to do something that I wouldn't do myself for them. You know, like now the biggest thing is like, if I asked you to make a sandwich at 3 o'clock in the morning, would you get up and do a sandwich? And I saw like these videos on social media. And these women were like, I would roll over and go back to bed, and I would roll over and I'm not doing that. And I'd probably, you know, I'd look at him and I'd be like, you better go fix yourself a sandwich. But 97% of the women that said that are single.
You got a point.
They're single, and all these women, they're like,
that's why they are single.
They are single. Right?
That's the reason why.
They are single. Exactly. And it's just kind of like, you know, but they would want their man to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and make them a sandwich.
Especially if you're pregnant.
Yeah, especially if you're pregnant.
And they say they nudge you, but basically they would get your butt up, and I want some fried fish, some okra, and some oatmeal.
Yeah, it's like at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, even when I was pregnant, I had a lot of cravings. I ate really unhealthy. I gained like 70 pounds with my daughter. And I would have her father, I would like, hey, my biggest thing was I want church's chicken.
Oh,
Yes, I want church's chicken with the fresh biscuits and the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the macaroni and cheese. And that was for dinner. And then for and then for lunch, I'd be like, I want a quarter pounder with cheese with the super size fry and the sweet tea. And then we lived in Orlando at the time. So it was all about crystals, them burgers, the little mini burgers,
yes.
and then Checkers fries. And it was just, I was in heaven. But at the same time, when he would go to work, he would have his breakfast, he would have his lunch. I'd pack his breakfast for him and in his lunch in the morning for him when he went to work. And then when he came home to a clean house, he would have dinner. So it has to be a kind of trade-off. You know what I'm saying? And I think nowadays, when it comes to relationships and partnerships, a lot of people are so wrapped up in what the world is saying is normal that they cheat themselves out of a great partner because they're simply selfish.
What's that one song? Don't know what you got till it's gone.
Exactly. And then I sitting here like, I should have just made that sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Now I gotta make my own sandwich.
Now I gotta make my own sandwich. Yeah.
Well, you're right about that, because people gotta look at relationship, especially when it comes down to cooking.
Mm-hmm.
We can't cook in the kitchen together.
No, we cannot. Because you get on my nerves.
We cannot. And
you in my way.
And then she would come in and, what you doing? I said, I'm cooking. Do
Right.
I come in the kitchen when you're in there?
Exactly.
I get away. I'm in my office doing something.
Exactly.
And just call me when dinner's ready.
Exactly.
Right. And I do the same thing, but it's very rare you get two people in the kitchen at the same time. There's an exception. Grandma.
Oh.
When you got daughters, when they got granddaughters, stuff, they want them in the kitchen
to learn,
show them how to cook.
Right.
Like my grandmother, to this day, I don't measure anything.
Right.
I never have. I watched her pinch here, and that's where I learned it from.
Yep.
And when I was frying chicken, when I would go home sometime, I remember one time they had a list of food they wanted me to cook.
It's like, you should know how to do it.
Yeah.
You've been in the kitchen long enough.
But I will cook all that, But I enjoy cooking, doing things like that. I enjoy experimenting and stuff. Because if I don't like it, nobody else gonna like it.
Exactly.
I make a small portion of something. I said, okay. And he said, oh, golly, Ron, why'd you make that? It's gross.
Right. All this stuff that, like, all the menus that I've created on my website, they have been tested. Because before I put the menu up there or whatever like that, or if I'm trying something new, I test it out first so that way I can make the adjustments. So I'm like, okay, I can sell this. Yeah. This is a marketable product and everything like that. But my daughter, she's 7, and I'll have her in the kitchen with me.
Yeah.
And it's just so
she is, her daughter is something else.
She's so wonderful, and she's so smart. And I mean, God knew what he was doing when he gave me her, because he knew I couldn't have a bad child. I don't have the temperament for that. Okay.
I know my wife was doing, she go by this recipe book she has is old. I mean, it's passed down from generation to generation.
Ooh, that's the best.
And she made dressing one Thanksgiving, and she said, baby, can you come here and taste it? I want to taste it. Yeah, you're missing something.
Right.
So I walked away. She said, aren't you going to tell me what I'm missing? I said, no.
Because then where's the learning experience?
But she was missing some sage in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough sage. It didn't have that in there. So those are some things that we do sometimes with each other. We bounce off each other and everything. We just make sure everything is okay and stuff. So that's what we do.
But that's good, because you're supposed to have somebody in the kitchen with you, who also knows how to cook. That can tell you whether you're missing something or you're not missing something or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I like sometimes when I'm cooking with a friend who also cooks, which is very rare, that I'm in the kitchen with a friend who also cooks. Because I'm very biased. I think I'm like the best, but
well, why not?
I know. I'm very biased.
Are you able to walk out that door with your head being so big?
I mean, just a little bit.
Okay.
I gotta like kind of move into to the side. But
Yeah.
I do like cooking with somebody else who knows how to cook as well, because I want their feedback. Because sometimes my recipes may be a little off, and I'm not cooking for just me. I'm cooking for everybody else as well. So I want somebody else's opinion. So
Yeah.
I'll usually bring somebody in, like my best friend. She makes the best baked beans I have ever had. And, her baked beans are better than mine. So when I first had her baked beans, I was like, Jess, what you do? Like, like what you do? And then she'll tell me what she does. And then I'll try to replicate it, but they just don't taste the same. So I do give credit when credit is due.
I do this, I call it Salisbury steak, that the ground meat and stuff. I take it, put this seasoning in there, and I take it out there, I put it on the grill and let it cook halfway.
His Salisbury steak?
Yeah.
Oh,
Then I
okay.
turn around, bring it back in, make my brown gravy, put in the oven for about 2 hours, and twice baked potato, grilled corn. And my wife would come and she said, something's different about this one. I never did told her I was taking out there putting on the grill.
Oh, yeah, we got that flavor.
Because what happened was, I'm dating myself. Went to prom in 1972.
Oh gosh.
And I remember the girl who I went with, well, I will not mention her name. And we went to this restaurant in Evanston, Illinois, to go eat. And that's how they did your Salisbury steak.
Really?
And I never forgot that taste, almost like charbroil.
Yes.
And then you take it, make a nice brown gravy with it. It's a completely different taste.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna have to ask for a plate of that, because that sounds really, really good. Because I've never had it like that either. We cook it and we put the gravy and we put it in the oven with some onions or something, let it cook.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I've never even thought about having it on the grill, but I don't grill.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did. Well, the other one I did, sometimes you get fish, let's say it's catfish or cod or something like that, and you taste it. I always say you taste that fish you taste. Well, it's a fish, you're gonna taste that fish you taste.
I like my fish to taste like fish.
But if you turn around, put it in the bowl, clean it, put it in the bowl, put a 12-ounce can of beer in there, let it sit there for about 20, 30 minutes, and then cook it. You don't get that fishy odor in the house, and it doesn't taste like fish. Yeah.
Does it taste like beer?
No.
Okay.
At all.
Huh. What kind of beer though? Like a cheap beer?
Budweiser.
Budweiser? Okay.
You know what Budweiser stands for, right?
I don't. I think someone told me a long time ago.
I tell everybody this. It was years ago. I was in Illinois. We go across the state line in Wisconsin. And there you could turn around and drink at the brewery for free. And then I wanted a Budweiser. The guy said, nope, you can't have Budweiser. You don't know what Budweiser means. It means it's cold and wet and ready to drink. He said, no. So he finally took, if you remember this.
I think it starts off with like, because you deserve.
You deserve what every individual should enjoy regularly.
Okay.
So you get a half a Bud.
Yeah. So I was like, I get the Bud part, not the Weiser.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, I know it starts off with because you deserve.
Exactly.
Oh.
See?
Yeah. See, even when I used to drink, I never drank Budweiser. I was a Stella Artois or a Corona or a Heineken drinker.
Yeah. Well, those right there, you take that, just put it in your fish. Let it sit there about 20 minutes and then fry it. And you're good.
That's good. Oh, so that's also comes in handy when you make like a beer battered fried fish. Okay. See, learn something new.
There you go. But you're the chef. I'm just going by
But see, I like because I don't drink, I don't cook with alcohol.
And what else?
I don't even have it in the house.
What else is good is a nice red wine with your spaghetti sauce.
So what I would do is like, back in the day, I would make a nice pot roast with a nice port. And I would just, let that simmer down with a little bit of soda, like with the Coca-Cola, because you get that sweet and that wine and stuff. It was so good.
See, here we are going back. See, we're going back to not old wives' tales, things that our grandparents cooked with. I remember the days when it was that ham that had to cook for hours in the refrigerator.
Yes.
You had to baste it. My mom turned around and started basting hers with Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
It took the salt out of it.
It did.
And it was
and
real
it has
good.
the sweetness, and I think it's the molasses and a little bit of that cinnamon clove flavor from the Dr. Pepper that gives it a totally unique flavor. Like when my dad, when he used to make his pork tenderloins and stuff like that, and when he used to cook it, he would mix a little bit of apple juice with a little bit of Dr. Pepper, and he would
Yes.
spritz it on the pork tenderloin, and that's how he made it. And it would have this really nice crust all over it, and it
Mhm.
would just be so good.
A nice little glaze on it. and
Yeah, nice
everything.
little glaze.
See,
And then I've had people use Dr. Pepper in their barbecue sauce.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
good too.
Yes.
Matter of
And I
fact,
was like, okay,
yeah, you can do that. You
yeah.
can do that and stuff. So, all right. And in closing, you want to tell somebody where we can find you at?
Yes.
Since you're
So
not in Hawaii anymore.
I know, not yet. Not yet. So you can find me on my website. My website is www.cheftotable.llc.com. And then you can also call me at 210-570-7155. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at Chef to Table LLC. And then I just created TikTok for us, so you can find us at Chef to Table, located in San Antonio, Texas.